What's up, everybody? Welcome in to another edition of the Hoops Betting Hour. We are presented by PicksWise and powered by FanDuel. Taking a look, another day, another dollar at the NBA card. A couple of shows in. Really, I have to say, this card today looks really enticing. Couple of spots. We got more games today. I think we have a little bit better picture of the injury reports. And I'm excited about this card. And who better to break it down with than an old friend? I've worked with this guy off and on for a long time. Rico Bosco hates me because of BlackJack. A lot of people don't know that. Do you remember that story, BlackJack? I don't know if you do, but
I don't know.
We've had a long history, you and I, and it's nice to see you. I know you're an NBA guy. You bet the NBA. You do some shows with SBR and with some other folks. How you doing? I think BlackJack froze. You there, BlackJack?
I'm doing unbelievable. I'm glad to be here. This is going to be a ton of fun. We're going to talk NBA. Yep. Let's get nuts.
Yeah, looking forward to it. As I said, I think the card today is really enticing, at least from my standpoint. Plenty of options, plenty of things to get into. Really just kind of a quick look at last night. We welcome everybody in. Thanks for joining us. We are powered by FanDuel. And the great folks at PicksWise put this show on every day. Make sure if you're new around here, we continue to grow the subscriber base. Make sure you hit the subscribe button on the YouTube channel. Make sure you communicate, say hello in the chat box. And for anyone that watches the show after the fact, welcome in. Hope you're enjoying what you're getting here. We're trying to build an audience up again. Just kind of a recap of last night quickly, BlackJack. Did you bet last night? What did you have? Anything?
I did. I had some stuff going last night. It was not a bad night for me. I can tell you I had the Timberwolves -2. As I said yesterday, Timberwolves now through the transitive property, the best team in the NBA because they beat the Jazz twice in a row, who I previously thought were the best team. They win. Now they're the best team in the NBA, so they keep that title. I had the Bucks -9. I did miss on the under with the Pacers and the Blazers. I talked on SBR. I said, there's no way the Pacers are going to hold up their end of this bargain, and they didn't. But Portland just went crazy and put up 133, so that'll get you there more nights than not. And I did miss out on the under in the Celtics and Thunder because somehow the Celtics gave up 119 points to the Oklahoma City Thunder.
Yeah, just a disgusting game last night for Boston. They continue to be very disappointing. I will say I had Indiana myself. That was one of the plays that I liked. I don't know what that third quarter was for the Pacers. I just don't. I mean, they actually played really well, I thought, in the first quarter. And then they just pissed it away. I don't know what that third quarter stuff was. I mean, outscored 40-16, just dreadful stuff. I did hit with the Mavs Warriors over. That was a nice one. That was a blowout. I had a feeling that wasn't going to come in, and there was just a wild second half in that game and ended up going over. I also like the Bucks as well. That was one we kind of disagreed on the show. Timberwolves Rockets. I actually took the Rockets only because the game just didn't make any sense to me. I don't know why. I just thought for me the Timberwolves, they just thought they'd kind of revert back to their old ways, and they are playing well. That's a good point that you make with the transitive property. But let's – I guess if that means anything, let's get in to today's action. And there's some old haunts that I really like, which we're going to get into. But I want to start it off here and get into – and we are using FanDuel. Make sure you're checking out FanDuel for all your odds. Really some great promotions, great betting insurance, great casino options, great sports options, whether you want basketball, soccer, golf, whatever. FanDuel has you covered. If you're in Colorado, Indiana, Pennsylvania, New Jersey, wherever you are, make sure you check it out. FanDuel. All right, let's get into it. First game off the chart here, it is the Philadelphia 76ers, my Philadelphia 76ers, take on the Atlanta Hawks. Sixers laying 8, total 215. Atlanta's playing well. Won 7 of 10, doing it without Trey Mitchell, finding ways to do some good things. Sixers look to be back at full strength, but they continue to have these little knocks for Joel Embiid. Didn't look himself the other night. I have some weird feeling he's going to be questionable tonight, but when you look at Simmons, he came back. Tobias Harris came back. One thing I've liked about Atlanta is they continue to maintain momentum. They continue to play well, even without Trae Young. They've been much better this year defensively, which has helped considerably. Top 10 in offensive efficiency. I'm not playing this game. I didn't end up betting it. Probably won't bet it. It seemed a little high to me though, 8. But in a game like this, I want Trae Young, especially with the thought that the Sixers might be back at full strength. But 8 seemed a bit high. Any thoughts in this game?
Yeah, I agree with you that the 8 is high to me. I'm not playing this game either. If I were, though, I'd have a play on the total. I think that 215 is a number we can get over here with these offenses. You spoke about the Hawks' offensive efficiency, and it's certainly there. And I know that their defense has played better, but the Sixers are a team that when they're going right, they're going to get theirs. And to hit 215 in today's NBA is not asking a ton. These two teams, I think, can do it. That would be my top play in this game as a total.
Yeah, it's just a game I didn't have a ton on. As I said, I thought the side Hawks, it was a little too much. I just think with them, they've been playing well enough to maybe hang around and cover that number. Clint Capella's been big for them. They've had obviously a lot more scoring than just Trae Young. But Sixers at home, kind of possibly at full strength here. They could win this game, 110, 100 or something, But just a game as we lead off, I wasn't real high on. I did want to point out something. At the end of the show, we're going to get BlackJack's Derby pick. BlackJack, a big horse racing guy. Are we able to give that BlackJack, or do we want to save that?
Of course.
Give us a horse that you like.
Yeah, we'll get it out.
So very good. A couple people are looking for that. Thanks for joining us here today on the show. Thanks, everybody, for checking out the show. Barry Rozelle says, good afternoon. Very formal. Good afternoon. I've actually met Barry Rozelle. I met him at the Borgata. I was walking into the poker room, and random story. So walking into the poker room there, and he had told me he was going to be down there, but I had really not thought about it. I walk in, and he goes, big man, Barry from Staten Island. I said, oh, hey, Barry, what's up? Good guy. Nice guy.
Ooh, he's from Staten Island?
Yes. Does a lot of gambling.
Sorry, Barry.
Yeah. Well, Staten Island's a good place for the most part.
No.
Make sure you hit the like button as well, says Doug Campbell. Thank you, Doug. Yes, agreed. All right, let's move on. Orlando. I can't swear on the show, which is tough, but what a
good thing you told me.
What a crappy game this is. But I want to say this. But actually, Cleveland should not be a favorite to anybody. I'm sorry. They just shouldn't.
I don't disagree.
Cole Anthony's been playing well for the Orlando Magic. You have to feel good about that. If you're a Magic fan, I feel bad for you because they're one of the worst teams in the league, and this roster is bad. But I will say Cole Anthony's played well for them. They're very young, as we said. We talked about it on the Monday show, how they have I think 5 or 6 guys under the age of 25. Wendell Carter's been good. Gary Harris, good defensive player. He's played well. I got to be honest. I think if you are betting this game, I think you have to lean with the Magic. I'm not going to ultimately bet on it because it's 2 bad teams playing each other. But I'll say this. If you like the Magic, why not just take the money
line? Yeah. I think if you're betting this game, you need your head examined. But if you are going to do that for some ridiculous reason, the play is the Orlando money line. You're absolutely right, because it's small enough that you might as well take a shot. And the one thing I'll say is, you're dealing with teams that are 1-9 and 2-8 in their last 10 respectively.
Right.
I think that the Orlando roster has more to play for than the Cleveland one does. A lot of these guys are fringe guys. They're looking to get contracts next year. Cleveland, you know what you're going to come back with next year. I mean, you know where this team's at. Not to mention Kevin Love might just be throwing games at this point based on his behavior the other night with Toronto. If I were betting this game, it would be Orlando money line. But yeah, I will not.
Yeah, I mean, look, it's hard to hold your nose and bet on Orlando. It is. And again, I'm not enticing anyone to bet this game. I wouldn't do it. There's way better games in this card that you can wet your whistle with. But yeah, if I had to play it, you got to look towards at some points limiting juice, laying a number, or even taking a number and getting a positive
plus 150 here.
Yeah,
great shot.
Yeah, agreed. I think it's a nice shot. People are always saying, "Well, give me a money line dog." Well, there you go, Orlando, plus 150. All right, next one, Charlotte. at Boston. Boston laying 6, total 215. We talked at the beginning of the show about the Boston Celtics, who just continue to be disappointing. They have played well lately, but then they go out and have efforts like they've had the last couple games where, you lose to the, Charlotte Hornets by 21. You put 104 on the board. Then you lose to Oklahoma City, one of the worst teams in the NBA last night, by 4. And look, I mean, they're without Tatum, they're without Walker, but look, I don't know if those two are going to be in tonight. Hornets have, frankly, been honorable. I think they continue at 30-30 without LaMelo Ball for a long period of time. They continue to get really clutch efforts out of Rozier, PG Washington, Devontae Graham. Miles Bridges has played well. They're starting to build something. And with a star in LaMelo Ball down the road coming back, I think you have to be kind of excited at what the prospects are. This is a group, BlackJack. They're not a top 3 bottom team in the NBA. This is a bona fide team that's in the playoff race. They're 8th in the East right now. There's plenty of season to play for. And I think if you're a team like Charlotte, you got to buy in, and they continue to buy in. Boston is gutless. Give me the Hornets. I'll lean with the Hornets here.
Yeah, I mean, I need you to explain this line movement to me, though. This thing opened as Charlotte as a 1-point favorite and has now gone all the way to -6 Boston.
Yeah, I guess the growing sentiment is that those two are going to play, whether at least with Tatum. But here's the thing.
Kemba's out for today.
Right, that's right. Yeah, Kemba's out. Tatum is in, though. But let me just point out, Tatum played the other night against the Hornets.
Yeah.
They had 19. Kemba Walker had 20, and they still lost by 21.
Yeah, I'm with you. This
gutless.
Boston team is not the Boston teams we are used to seeing. I don't know. I mean, again, this is a pass for me, but I'm with you. I'm getting closer and closer to Charlotte on this. By game time, I might be there, but 6 to me feels pretty good. I think I'm getting real close to pulling the trigger on Charlotte. You can't bet Boston and lay these points. Second day of a back-to-back, there is nothing to indicate that this Celtics team is going to show up and beat this Hornets team by multiple possessions. There's just nothing to give you that. Yeah,
it's just hard to kind of figure they're going to do that right now. They're just not a team that seems built to do it. And look, the NBA is a fickle business. Anytime a team can look terrible for 2 or 3 games and then just completely destroy a team the next. But Charlotte continues to play well. Charlotte continues to battle. Charlotte continues to get through some of the storms here. And they're still right there in the playoff race. So it would be huge for this group to make the playoffs. By the way, I have yet to look this up. LaMelo Ball, what is going on with him? I guess
he is supposed to be returning to live practice tomorrow.
Yeah, which is huge.
Yeah.
That's you're getting him back. This team is really interesting. And look, I think they remind me a lot of the Magic last year when the Magic made the playoffs. Look, they're not going to do anything in the playoffs, but getting to the playoffs, taking that next step is big. And every game is important for this group. And I think they have to look at this game as another winnable opportunity. So,
yeah, agreed.
I'm gonna lean on the 6 here if I had to.
Yeah.
Bulls and Knicks, good old-fashioned Eastern Conference matchup.
All right.
Takes you back to the days of Michael Jordan and John Starks and Allen Houston. A lot of great names in this matchup over the years. Knicks laying 4, total 209.5. When you look at the Knicks, obviously a lot to unpack. They've been terrific. Okay, they lost the other night, but as you know and I know, they've been awesome. Thibodeau's the coach of the year. We've talked kind of ad nauseum about this roster and how there's really no star. They just have found a way to mesh and to cohesively figure it out. And they're great defensively. They're the slowest pace in the league. They don't wow you offensively. They don't take a ton of threes, but they grind you out and they take care of business. And they're the best team in the league against the spread. Okay? Yeah. They've made bettors a lot of money.
Yeah.
They've been good in the first half. They're really a glowing thought right now to bettors. But I'll tell you this, and one guy that I think has changed kind of the trajectory of this team is Derrick Rose. Mm-hmm. When you look recently at the Knicks, let's just say the last 6-7 games, the growing sentiment is this is becoming over team all of a sudden, right? I mean, their numbers are just too low.
Yeah.
And Derrick Rose has added the pace has been a little bit faster. They've been better offensively. And look, granted, they've played some teams that have helped the pace, but they've also played teams that you look at that Suns game the other night, got the 228. The Knicks, that Hawks game, that went to overtime, but it still wouldn't have went over.
Yeah.
The Raptors game went over. These numbers are too low, and I like this spot to maybe lean on an over here because I think it's a low number. It's only 209.5. And one thing I could say about the Bulls, they're a top 10 shooting team in the NBA. They do make shots. I think this one finds a way to creep over 209.5. I think the Knicks have kind of changed their stripes a little bit.
I think you're on the right side of the total, but I'm taking the Knicks here. I'm going to lay the 4 points with the Knicks off of their first loss in 9 games to Phoenix. I think this Knicks team bounces back. I think that they bounce back in a fairly big way, if we're being honest. I cannot say enough about this team. I'm a Knicks fan, and I've largely tuned them out for the last decade because it's just been one sordid affair after another. I'm back in on this team. I love watching this team play. It's like a throwback, right? It really is. It's like a throwback. You talk about this being a 90s matchup. This Knicks team is the closest thing you'll see to 90s basketball today. They are a throwback team in an era where that doesn't really exist. I love watching them. I love betting them because, as you said, they're the best ATS team in the NBA this year. So give me the Knicks tonight to bounce back off the loss to Phoenix.
Yeah, I definitely don't hate that one. And I considered it myself, maybe even a first half. They've been very good in the first half this year. But I look at kind of where this team is going pace-wise. And I do think the Bulls kind of add to it as well. Good young guards. They have the ability to make shots. Again, this is an ugly match because neither team shoot threes. They're both kind of grinded out. But again, the Knicks are the slowest team in the NBA pace-wise. But recently – they've really upped the pace and really have kind of vaulted into almost the top 15. So sharp money's on the over. I like the over here. It's been better from 208.5 to 209.5. Not getting the absolute best price, but I think we see a move up to even 210, 210.5. So I think this is a pretty good spot. This will be a game that I personally jump in on. Couple of comments here. Mike Maya says, does Charlotte win outright? I'm not ready to go that far, but I think it's a fascinating spot. Again, I think they obviously look at it as a winnable game. 6 points is valuable, I think, here against a team that's really kind of been gutless, frankly, lately. The Hook says, what's up, BlackJack? Shout out from Derby land.
Someone's in Louisville.
Shout out to the Hook. Great comment here from Owen Reagan. Says, hey, Chubby, go F yourself. All right. Thanks for watching, man. By the way, I've lost 110 pounds. Kind of a rough beat by you.
Well, maybe that's why he only said chubby.
Yes, that's true. He could have said fat slob.
Yeah, he only went with chubby.
But hey, Owen, thanks for watching, man. All right, let's move on to the next game here. We bring it all up here on the show. Lakers at Wizards. Lakers laying 1.5, total 229. How about the Wizards? They're playing some good basketball. And shout out to me. This was fascinating the other night, BlackJack. So Monday, I was sure of it. Bradley Beal wouldn't play. The number didn't make sense. Bradley Beal's not going to play. What did Bradley Beal do? 45 points. Bradley Beal is my kryptonite, if you will. But I will say Bradley Beal's been terrific. 29 or more in 9 straight games. He's on the cusp of possibly winning a scoring title. He's right there with Stephen Curry. But when you look at this game, LeBron is close to return. He's not going to play tonight. But when you look at the Lakers, they're basically healthy. AD's back. Things are going the Lakers' way right now. Kuzma's played well. Dennis Schroeder continues to be a big factor. Caldwell Pope, Montrezl Harrell, all factors. And I think that's the difference in this game. You look at the defense. Lakers much better defensively. No Thomas Bryant. He's been out. That's going to hurt down low. I think the Lakers get the job done. I'm not running to bet it, but we go over every game here. Gun to my head, I lean Lakers. I think the number's just too low. I think they're better than the Spurs were at kind of handling Beal. They're not going to let him go off the way he did the other night. I think the defense is the difference here. Lean Lakers.
Yeah, I'm with you. I think I'm going to go with the Lakers myself here. In fact, I'm going to make that one an official play. I like the Lakers here. And you hit on something that I think is the absolute key to this game. It's the defense. There was a stretch this season when the Wizards were playing decent defense. That's gone. Okay. Right. And let's make no mistake. The Wizards are playing well right now. They're playing their best basketball of the season. But the defense is not what's leading them. It's Bradley Beal shooting the lights out is what's leading them. The Lakers still play defense, okay? They've had to do it with the injuries to AD and LeBron throughout the year and their shooting slumps that they were prone to going through. They've had to play defense. They have done it. I think they will do it tonight. I'm going to take the Lakers minus 1.5.
Yeah, I like it. When you look at the Lakers, statistically, efficiency-wise, number one in the NBA, and by a pretty good margin. I mean, they're the best defensive team you're going to find on paper. And, we look at Washington, really have plummeted. This group's down to 21st in defensive efficiency. Over the last 3 games, they're giving up 1.14 points per possession, just not good. And when you look at a scoring defense, obviously points per game as well, this group is bad. They're giving up 118 points a game. That's dreadful. Second worst in the league. And the only team worse is Sacramento. And Sacramento has been historically bad defensively. So, yeah, this is one that I think you have to key in on. It seems a little trappy, but I'm going to lean on the Lakers. I agree with you. Let's go to the next one here. Spurs and Heat. 2 teams that at least one of them I hate. I hate the Heat. I liked them a lot last year, but I hate this team this year. And it's not because I lose money on them. I just think they're disappointing. They're a lot like the Celtics. They're disappointing. Mm-hmm. Heat continue to struggle. And the Spurs are playing well. They've won 7 of 10. They've really kind of figured it out a little bit. Derek White's playing a lot better. And not that revenge means much to me in the NBA, but a couple of days ago, the Heat destroyed the Spurs, beat them by 20. Yeah. Spurs only had 87 points. They shot 40%. It was rough. This seems like a Spurs team that's starting to figure it out a little bit. I'm not playing the game. We go over everyone. Lean Spurs, but I don't really like either of these teams.
No, and my problem with these 2 teams is the same thing. It's consistency, right? It's neither. They are consistently inconsistent. And both of them have been that way. Miami has been so hot and cold all season. It's a joke. And every time I feel like the Spurs have figured it out, they'll hit a little bit of a wall. And it's like they'll have those blowout games that I just can't rationalize because it doesn't make sense for the way they play. But I'm with you. This game to me is a hard pass. I don't have a good read on it. If I were betting it, I would take the points. But I think there are other opportunities on this card than that one.
Keep in mind, saving grace, if you like San Antonio, they have been actually pretty good against the number. You've made money if you bet on them this year. Miami, one of the worst teams in the league against spread. Bottom 5. They're 27-34 against the number. They don't come to play. They don't cover games. A lot of the time they're a favorite. And they're not getting the job done as a favorite. I think when you're looking at recency bias, San Antonio is very good as a dog, and they've been playing well lately. So, yeah, I'll tell you what. Again, we don't really, throwing out plus, plus money lines in the NBA is a fickle business. But I think San Antonio can win a game tonight, and I think Orlando can win a game tonight. Both 2 good dogs if you're looking forward to getting them. Next one. This is a game that I've already bet. This is one of my favorite plays of the card. It's going to come at the end when we go over our best bets. Pelicans at Denver. Denver laying 4, total 230.5. I bet this at 229.5, but I like even 230.5. I played the over in this game. And I got to be honest, I thought the number was a little low. I'm not saying that I think it should be 240, but, Denver doesn't play with a lot of pace. In fact, they don't play with much pace, but Denver is very good offensively. They're very efficient, even without Jamal Murray. Michael Porter's really been good. And these are 2 of the best over teams in the NBA. New Orleans plays with a lot of pace. Nobody's better at covering overs than New Orleans. And Denver's fifth. They're fifth in over-under. They've covered a ton of overs this year. There's no real issue for either team scoring. No one really played defense here. Denver's fallen on the wayside defensively, really back into last year, into the bubble. They were bad defensively. This seems like an up-and-down affair, maybe like a 124, 116 type of game, something like that. I like the over here. I don't know why this total is so low. I bet it at 229.5. It's up to 230.5. Any feel here?
Yeah, I'm with you. I'm riding the over here. You hit the nail on the head. The Nuggets have one of the best offenses in the NBA and one of the worst defenses in the NBA. It is not a good defense. They've played poor defense all season long. The Pelicans struggled to defend in a very big way. And I think that you're going to see their guys get their points tonight because Denver's going to give them up. So this thing screams for an over at 230.5. So,
and you're going to have one team that's really going to go fast and one team that's efficient. So two great ways to hit an over. Two teams that are basically 4 and 5 in points per game in the NBA, both averaging over 100 points a game. We should see an up and down affair. And I always like overs with Denver. They've been very profitable, even back into the bubble.
Sure.
And as I said, when you're looking at trends, two great over teams. I mean, New Orleans best in the NBA, Denver right behind in fifth. So should see a fun up and down matchup here. I'm hoping for like a first quarter, like 36-32. I'd be very happy with that. And then we'll just kind of add on. Sam Calmer says, I got it at 228. Line should be 234 plus. Yeah, I kind of would have threw it at like 235. I hear you. I thought it was a little low here for sure. Barry Roselle says, Heat and Pacers never cover for me. Blow. Yes, Pacers are one of the worst teams in the league.
The Pacers don't cover spreads.
That team sucks. All right, next one. Portland at Memphis. Memphis laying 1.5 at home here. Total 240. I'm going back to the well again. I played this Monday. It hit. I'm playing it today. John Morant over 22.5 points. It's up a little bit higher. John Morant scored 22 or more in 5 straight games. In 2 games this year against the Portland Trailblazers, he's averaging 31 a game. John Morant is what the Grizzlies have right now. He is the offensive executioner. He is getting the job done. And the Portland Trailblazers, as I've talked ad nauseum, are wretched on the defensive end. I don't think they're going to stop Morant. Morant takes a ton of shots. I think he's going to have the ability to get at least a 25 here. And when you look at John Morant, played just recently against Portland, had 28 and had 33. Bank it, 22.5. I don't play a ton of player props. I'm playing one here. John Morant over 22.5.
Yeah, I'm going to take the Grizzlies in this game. I think it's a bad spot for the Blazers. This is the second day of a back-to-back. Memphis will play defense, and Memphis also likes to push the pace. And I think those two things are going to wear this Portland team down a little bit. They've played, they've had a busy schedule of late. This will be their 5th game in 7 days. So I think that Memphis's style is a poor matchup for them, where they'll probably have some a little bit of tired legs. So I'm going to take the Grizzlies here to beat the Blazers one more time.
Keep in mind, and it's not talked about much because of Phoenix and Utah and the Knicks, Memphis, second in the NBA and ATS, 38-22 against the number. Very good. Mm-hmm. Basically flipping here. I like it. I hate Portland. I hate that group. I mean, it's just they're annoying and they don't defend. I like your call with Memphis, but I also, and again, kind of correlated here, we need Morant to have a big game. Let's go 31 tonight. That would be just fun. 22.5 is too low. I don't know what the books are seeing that I'm not seeing.
Yeah, I mean, the Blazers can't defend guards.
Yeah. I mean, they had 20.5 the other night on Morant. I don't get it. He had 16 at the half. I mean, the guy's really terrific, and I'll keep playing the overs with him. Next, we're flying through the card. We got a couple more games here. Clippers headed on the road to take on Phoenix. Phoenix laying 4, total 221.5. I actually very much remember this game a couple of weeks ago. These groups played, and I remember it perfectly because I remember putting it out on Twitter, And I remember I got so many people that said, they're not going to win by 6 or more. Stop. Suns are a lock here. Clippers are a lock. But I look at the line, I say, why are the Clippers 6-point favorites against the Suns? Makes no sense.
No.
They should be 6-point favorites. Won by 10. It went exactly how I wanted. I look at the same thing here. I think a lot of people are going to say, why are the Clippers 4-point dogs here against the Suns? This is a Suns team that has slipped up a little bit recently, but have kind of gotten back on the wheel after that win the other night against the Knicks.
Mm-hmm.
No Kawhi Leonard.
Nope.
Clippers have been beating up on mostly bad teams recently. Phoenix, as we know, very good defensive group. They may get Jay Crowder back tonight, which would help considerably. Bench is solid. I don't think I'm going to play it. Lean Suns, though, -4.
I think I will play the Suns here. It's a double revenge spot for Phoenix against the Clippers. The line is manageable. I like that they got the win against the Knicks, and no Kawhi Leonard is probably the icing on this particular cake for me. I like the Suns here to get a win off this Clippers team, and 4 is a number that's small enough that I'm comfortable with. So give me the Suns here. Double revenge spot, beating up on the Clippers.
Yeah, I mean, look, Chris Paul continues to defy really everything. Terrific player. And, you told me about that documentary he did on the pandemic, basically, and like the racial stuff and just kind of the last year. He's a fascinating guy, just a real kind of purveyor of everything good with the NBA. I mean, leads the Players Association, just an interesting guy, man. Really like Chris Paul, Hall of Famer for sure.
Oh, yeah.
And I love that move for the Suns, right with Devin Booker, kind of the old guy with the young guy. I'm telling you, this team is going to be really a tough out.
Yeah, they are.
And that was another thing. A lot of people laughed when I threw out the Phoenix Suns at 40-1. A lot of people, Phoenix, they're not going to beat the Lakers. Maybe not, but
what are all the LA fans going to say when the Western Conference Finals are Phoenix and Utah?
Yeah, going to be a real shame to see that. Again, the Lakers are the Lakers. They won the title last year, but again, it was in the bubble. Who cares? Cool. You won the title in the bubble. Great. And I know I'll get crap for that because there's a lot of Laker fans out there. But, I lean on the Phoenix Suns here as well. Not going to play it, but I agree with you here. All right, final game. This is a tough one. Jazz at Kings. Jazz laying 8.5, total 223. I'll say two things. De'Aaron Fox isn't playing right now, but Halliburton's been terrific. Nice win for them the other night against Dallas for the Kings. This is a tough spot, though. We know how good the Jazz are, but they're without Mitchell, but they still keep blowing teams out. I have no interest in Utah just because there's no Mitchell, and I don't want to fade them either. So it was a pass for me.
I have interest. I have big interest in the Utah Jazz tonight, minus the 8.5. They are going to put it on the Sacramento Kings. They are going to crush the Sacramento Kings. It's going to be embarrassing tonight, okay? This Jazz team has lost 2 in a row to the Minnesota Timberwolves. The Timberwolves. Now they get a tonic, a potion put in front of them, the panacea for what ails them, and that's the Sacramento Kings. This team gets their doors blown off tonight. Utah.
Shout out to you, panacea, a word we don't see much on this show. Listen, that's that American University
that's right.
Education.
That's right.
Is that a real word, panacea?
Yeah, it's a word. It's a cure-all.
Well, let me see what that is a definition of. Panacea. It is a noun, a solution or remedy for all difficulties. How about that? It's another word for medicine, BlackJack. Yeah. Great stuff. That's a good word. I agree with you, though. The Kings I've talked about, just an abomination defensively, just dreadful. And look, you don't have your best player in De'Aaron Fox, who, by the way, somebody, and I'll keep mentioning this, someone in this chat the other day says De'Aaron Fox sucks. Like,
no, he doesn't.
It's ridiculous.
No, the Kings suck. He doesn't suck.
Well, that guy's comments sucked.
Fair enough.
Yeah, I like your tonic, though, for the Jazz. The Kings should be a good one. All right, best bets, and then we'll get into Kentucky Derby. I want to make an announcement about tomorrow's show as well. All right. I like the Denver Nuggets and Pelicans over 229.5. I do like 230 if that's the number. I also like John Morant over 22.5 points against the Portland Trailblazers. And I'm also going to play Knicks Bulls over 209.5. I think that creeps over. I like what we're seeing from the Knicks recently. I think they're kind of almost developing it into an over team. I'll probably small play Lakers as well. But BlackJack, what are your best bets tonight?
My best bets are the Knicks -4 and the Jazz -8.5. Those are the best ones on the board. Take them to the bank.
Yeah, can't go wrong with either team. Both very good against the number. How about that? I mean, just super efficient, super well done, great words. I mean, all sorts of stuff here on the show. But before we go, two things. BlackJack, as many know, is a big horse guy. He bets – and look, he's not just one of these goofs that comes out, in May when the Kentucky Derby happens. He's betting Woodbine Mohawk on a Tuesday night. He's betting Turf Paradise. He's betting Turfway. He's betting Penn National. He's betting Gulfstream, wherever. It doesn't matter. BlackJack loves horses. Now, the favorite in the Kentucky Derby, which has really snuck up on us, but it is about to be May. The favorite is the 2-year-old Essential Quality. The Brad Cox horse has been terrific. There's also a couple other great ones as well. BlackJack, tell us what you're thinking here. Obviously, just a couple of days away, May 1st.
Yeah, the post position draw happened yesterday, and it changed some things around for me a little bit. I'm going to try to beat Essential Quality. And listen, there is very little to knock on this horse, right? He's undefeated. He won the Bluegrass at Keeneland. He looks the part, but he doesn't look like a monster to me. So I think you can beat him. It's a 20-horse field. Maybe he doesn't get the greatest trip. There's talent in this field. The top one that I'm looking at is the 9-horse Hot Rod Charlie. Doug O'Neill has got 2 Derby wins to his credit, with I'll have another in Nyquist, so he knows how to do this. And Hot Rod Charlie is the horse that is the right kind of style for this race. First, he's breaking from the 9-hole, which is perfect. You want to be in that 4 to 9 range in the Kentucky Derby. It's the best spot to break from. So he's in a good spot. But what he likes to do is he likes to sit just off the pace. And then he kind of engages at the top of the stretch, which is what I think is going to take to win this race, because I don't think you're going to see what we saw last year where Authentic just led them around the racetrack. I think you're going to see multiple horses go to the front, and then it's going to fall apart a little bit, and whoever is in that next tier is going to have the best chance to win. Hot Rod Charlie is one of those horses. I really liked the 1-horse Known Agenda until he drew the 1-hole. That's going to be really hard. Irad is going to have to work out a hell of a trip from the 1-hole with 19 horses to the outside. Going to be really hard. The other one that I will look at here is Soup and Sandwich, and I'll look at Soup and Sandwich because he has the right trajectory, right? This horse only run 3 times, but every race has been better than the one before. He finished second to Known Agenda in the Florida Derby, which was a very good field that day. If the horse takes another step forward, he could be there. And again, he's got the right running style, and at 30-1, and I don't think you'll get 30-1 on Derby Day. This horse has a little bit of a cult following. I think he'll go off closer to 20. There's value there. So for me, my top choice would be Hot Rod Charlie. Known Agenda is still going to be on my ticket, and Soup and Sandwich I would use in the back part of any of my exotics.
I will say, when it comes to Soup and Sandwich, one of my favorite meals, nice lunch, is some chicken corn soup with a little bacon, egg, and cheese on wheat. Very good. Soup and Sandwich, I like that. Let me ask you, the 6.
Bezos. Yeah.
Maybe an off-the-pace thought here. I don't know. I keep hearing a little bit about this horse improving.
Okay. There's 2 things to that, right? Number one, yes, I like off-the-pace horses, but there are better ones in this field. Okay, you go back and look at the races this horse has run in. He was beaten by multiple horses in any of the major ones. And also, we do this every year at the Kentucky Derby, Jeff. There becomes this like workhorse, like the morning workout darling, that everyone starts saying, this horse is flying in the morning. It looks great at Churchill.
Yeah.
They never win. They never, ever, ever win the race. Bottom line is, you might be a great practice player, show up on game day. And Bezos has not shown up on game day. So I'm not going to bet the first time he's going to do it is with 20 horses in the most talented field he's ever faced.
Right. And that makes sense. One other one, the 15, Rock Your World.
Yep.
Won the Santa Anita Derby, undefeated. Any thought here on this horse?
Yeah, Rock Your World is a talented horse, right? I mean, the Santa Anita Derby was not the greatest field that we've seen in Santa Anita Derbies. It was also Rock Your World's first time on the dirt. So the horse only run on dirt once. But is undefeated, as you said, ran a very nice race, and comes in here, in a nice spot. I like the horse. I'm a little curious to see, because we only have the one dirt race, what if he can run from off the pace, or if he needs the lead like that. Because if his style is going to be, I'm going to try to take him gate to wire, I think that's going to be tough in this race, because I think other horses are going to go with him.
Good stuff. Make sure to check out BlackJack Fletcher. You can find him on Twitter at BlackJack Fletcher. No E in Fletcher. How do you get into Twitter?
There's a limit on the characters.
There you go. Well, he's retweeted. I retweet him. I'll make sure to put his @ sign in the description. Check BlackJack out on everything he's doing. You can also check both of us out on the sit down. If you enjoy Mafia history, sit down's out today. John Gotti episode out today. Great one. Make sure you check us both out on that. And I want to announce quickly for anyone checking out the show live or after the fact, tomorrow's show, Thursday, Donnie Wright said will join us. We'll talk a little bit about obviously the NBA card, but also NFL draft is tomorrow. You can make money in props. Okay, I've made money in props for years. It is where you can make money. And there's no one on earth with better thought on personnel than me. It's just that simple. Sorry. Maybe not in the NFL, but in the NBA and college basketball. But I've always been able to move it over to the NFL as well. Looking forward to it. And make sure you check out tomorrow's show. Donnie, a big NFL guy, so we'll get some thought on that as well. So, BlackJack, good stuff. We're going to talk to you weekly. Always excited to hear from you. By the way, how's Florida treating you?
Fantastic. Sunny, warm. Can't complain.
I hear you on that.
And we're free.
I hear you. Great stuff. BlackJack, thanks for joining us. One more thing. Let's just go over our picks one more time. I like Nuggets, Pelicans over 229.5. John Morant over 22.5 points. And Knicks, Bulls over 209.5. What do you got, BlackJack?
All of my official plays: Knicks -4, Lakers -1.5, Pelicans, Nuggets over 230.5, Memphis -1.5, Utah -8.5, Phoenix -4. Best bets of those would be the Knicks and the Jazz.
Love it. Great stuff, BlackJack. Thanks as always. Make sure you're checking out PicksWise. Thanks to them for putting on the show every day. And make sure you go check out our sponsor, FanDuel, the best book in the business, one of the best books in the business. Thanks for watching. We'll see you tomorrow here on the Hoops Betting Hour. Thanks, BlackJack.